Hey, what's going on? Welcome everyone to the 4050 Social Club. We are back and we have a very, very, very special and important topic that we want to talk to you about today. Today, we are talking about not only the check engine light moments in your life, but we want to give you some inspiration around Black men's health at 40 and 50 right now, right here on the 4050 Social Club.
Check engine
Let's go.
light. Welcome to the 4050 Social Club. We are so excited to have you join us today as we talk about the important topics of helping you transition through the ages of 40 to 50. Black men, if you're out there, if you need a resource or reference point to share some time with myself, CJ, and Quest as we take you on different journeys and stories and give you our perspective on how to navigate through the most important years of your life, ranging from relationship to faith to finance to entrepreneurship to corporate America. You name it, we got you. Come join us, Black men, as we talk about some of the most pressing topics you'll want to talk about as you transition between the ages of 40-50. 40-50 Social Club. Let's check out this next topic today. Let's go, y'all.
Yeah, fellas. Listen, man, I got up this morning and I stepped out of that bed, and let me tell you, I went to go move that right leg real quick, and that thing said,
Check engine light.
Hey, it happened.
That thing said, You ain't gonna move it quick right now. You gonna have to think about that. You know what I'm saying?
Here's a question for that then. What you got wrapped up right now? What you got wrapped up or got ice on right now?
Listen, I got right now. You don't see it right now, but this shoulder need a little icing right now, and this knee. I'm telling you, that's about it for me right now. But hey, I know it needs it. What about you?
Man, well, I got some years on you, so I've been dealing with this for a little bit longer, man. But it's a little bit of everything, you know, like being an athlete for as long as I was. Like this summer, I had my back been bothering me for the last like 5 years. And so this summer it got so bad, I finally had to go and have an MRI on my back after an x-ray, like all that. And they didn't find anything all that awful with it. But it's those kind of things that just start creeping up. Like all those injuries that I had from my basketball career, what I found happening was like when I got into my probably mid to late 30s, I would just wake up sometimes and I have a pain like, man, what's that from? And I'm remembering like, dang, that's from 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Dude came down with his elbow, you know, right on the shoulder. And now I'm actually feeling that right now. So that, I think that started to happen to me around then. And it's snowballed since then, man. You feel it more and more every day. Like being in Chicago for Jay's wedding, getting on and off that plane, man. I got off that plane when I got back to LA. My back was on fire, you know?
Wow.
But that's part of what comes with it.
It is. You're right about that. Jay, what about you? What's hurting on you right now?
Man, I can't help. I couldn't help. I couldn't help but think about a couple images I had. I remember. You remember Genuine? The artist.
I know where you're going.
And bro, he hadn't performed in ages, right? So, you know, old boy Tank got him back together and was like, we about to get you, we about to dust you off, Genuine. We about to give you back everything you left behind. And I remember watching the IG and he go out on the stage and next thing you know, his check engine light came on immediately and he fell. He did some move and fell. And they like,
come on.
Get up.
That was hilarious too, though.
Man, I was like, wow. But I couldn't help but think about him because, you know, we talk about check engine lights. And of course, at the wedding, we dancing. And I'm up here like, please don't let my check engine light come on today. Of all days, you know, I put my liniment on. All my ankles, my knee. I even brought my knee brace. I'm like, look, I ain't wearing no socks, so I can't put my ankle brace on. But of course, I would have had a full leg brace probably
if I could have come.
I hear you.
I get
Cause
it.
Man,
them soccer days killed me, man. I didn't
Oh man.
realize how much wear and tear I was putting on my body from playing soccer
yeah,
so long. And
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
now I feel it every morning. And it's like if I don't follow a special routine, I'm gonna be dealing with it all day. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Oh, definitely, definitely.
It
And
was
that
yeah,
routine is intense too. Like
it's
you start looking at the
intense
routine, itself, and you're like, dog, I gotta put in a lot of work just to get to,
just to get it.
just to get to a certain level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel you on that. I feel
Yeah,
you.
we
Yeah.
recently went to one of our homeboys' wedding, and one of his bosses was there, man, and amazing cat, amazing dude. But he was
Mhm.
talking to us. He's a little bit older. He might be like 60 or something like that, but looks like he like 45. Right,
Nice.
top, just put together really well. He definitely on a whole nother level, and so,
Mm.
but he runs every morning. And
Mhm.
he was like, man, every morning I'm running like 4 or 5 miles.
Mm.
He's like, but
Mm.
I have to do excruciating, intense stretch work
Yes.
for
Mm.
me to
Yes.
do that. He was talking
Mm.
Oh,
about how he
yes.
has to pull his like his like in between his toes apart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like extreme
Wow.
stretching
Yes.
in order for him to be able to just make it through the day. And I'm like, that sounds too intense for me. I don't know if I want that, but at the same time, I'm not as running 4 or 5 miles a day. So
Yeah.
it just
And I
makes you
think it's
think.
all in what you I think it's all in what you do, right? And
Yeah.
just giving a little bit of backstory for me, at one point in time I was, 350 pounds,
Wow.
and
Wow.
just living with that, and
Yeah.
that was just the daily of what it was. And it wasn't
Mm.
until my doctor had told me that I had gotten to the highest level of hypertension medication that could be taken at this point in time.
Mm.
And was like, at that point in time in my mind is when I said, nah, I gotta do something
It's
else.
time to make some moves.
Wow.
It was time,
Wow.
you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And so
Mhm.
to your point, I think a lot of people, if they really see the signs, coming along, they might actually do something to really do something about it.
Mm.
I got
Mhm.
lucky because I said to myself, I wanted to do this for me. And
Mm.
now I'm sitting here at almost 220 pounds.
Nice, man.
And yeah,
Wow.
yeah, I appreciate it. And I think when I think about that, the first thing that I think about was everything that was getting in my way, all the
Mhm.
barriers, all the stuff that was getting in my way that was from me listening to people and also from myself, right?
Mm. Mm.
Some of the stuff from me listening to people, and I know that black men are watching us right now, and some of them, they probably have some of these same stigmas now. And
Mm.
that is, we look at some of what has been done to black people in our history,
Mm.
in
I
these
got you.
hospitals. We look at how they handle us medically with our
Yeah.
finances. We look at all these things, and it discourages us from going to get that care. It
Yeah.
Yeah.
discourages us from getting preventative care. It
Yeah.
discourages us from getting mental health care.
Yeah.
And
Mm.
I know for me personally that in the beginning, it was the reason why I wasn't going to the dentist regularly, going
Mm.
to
Yeah.
the doctor regularly. I could sit back and look at a period of time in my life where it had been like 3 or 4 years that I had gone without a physical. It was
Wow.
it was just ridiculous because I was like, yo, I don't know what they doing. I don't know
Yeah.
what they're trying to do. And at the same time, maybe, I don't think it was a miseducation. Here I was, going to even at some point in my career, looking at being a doctor. I know it was a miseducation.
Mm.
It was the education of me understanding that it was a continuation of them putting us down in this system,
Mm.
But
Mm.
and
you,
I didn't want to be part of that.
Mm.
man, and I feel you 100%. And I think it's layered, right? Like anything else. And we think about, it impacting black men. I
Mm.
think it also impacts men of all color and race. You name it. I
Mhm.
think about a dear mentor I had lived in Florida. I never forget Randy. Rest in peace, bro. But I never
Mm,
forget him. And we used to drink, and he was a little bit older. He might have would have been like in his 60s now. But just a really cool cat, man. And I remember him telling me, he's like, man, I don't go to the doctor,
mm, mm,
you
Mm.
know.
Okay.
And he was like, because, you know, growing up, I was always told if you go to the doctor, you may not come home.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right. And
Yeah.
so he had lived his life that way. And I had moved on, moved past Florida, and we kind of kept in touch periodically and caught up with his partner and just say, hey, how's everything? How's everything? And she was like, well, you know, Randy just passed away. And I'm like,
Mm,
Damn.
what?
wow. Wow.
And come to find out, he had went to the doctor finally because something had happened to him,
Mm,
and he was forced to go to the doctor. And they were like, you've never been to the doctor your whole life?
mm,
And he's like, no. And when I tell you, shortly thereafter, he died.
mm, 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 mm,
So that
mm.
same he was so fearful of his whole life came back to haunt him. So you see how that could actually be a generational curse that
Yeah, and
is
it's
put
a catch
into
20.
us. It's
It's a catch 22.
it's
It's
a
a
catch
catch
22.
22.
It's a catch
Absolutely.
22. But also think about the other implications. So, like, we don't know why that stigma was put into his generational curse. It
Mm,
could have been health, it could have been financial,
mm,
because some of these bills that you see that come
mm.
from when you go to the doctor, if you
Yeah. Oh,
don't have
definitely.
good insurance, it's crippling. Like, we
Yeah.
looked at
Yeah.
one recently that we had, and we were like, we were only in there for a couple days. Thank God we had insurance, because this could have put us under.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
guess what? I'm not gonna go. Or maybe we're
Yeah.
teaching our children, like, if you go there, you're gonna end up broke.
Yeah.
You know what
That's
I'm
real.
saying?
Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
just
I
makes
think
you
Well,
it's
I think
think
all
you're
of
about
that.
all the
highlighting.
different parts of it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I
that
think
and
it's
that's
all of
what I
that.
think you're highlighting is just how complicated the issue is. There's so many different things that
Yes.
go into it. So the
Mhm.
financial piece, like not having the resources, without a doubt, that's going to creep into that. But then when you start thinking about how that spans generations, even if you happen to be a part of the generation of your family where you have the means, you got
Yeah.
the insurance or whatever else to go with it, when you've grown up with this stigma
Excuse me.
surrounding it, again, you have
Yeah.
to be very intentional about breaking that cycle. And
Yeah.
so I think about the distrust, the mistrust that I know we have, like
Mhm.
from a man standpoint,
Yeah.
doesn't matter what race, creed, color you are. And in addition to what you're talking about, what both of you all talked about, there's also the stigma of like, I'm a man, I'm good, like I don't need anything. Going to see the doctor is a sign of weakness. Like that's the kind of thing that I
Mhm.
know that I heard on several
Mhm.
Sure.
All the
occasions when I
time.
was a kid, even into
Sure.
my early to mid 20s before things started to change a bit. But again, you have to be intentional about changing your thinking in that kind of way. So I know for me, that was one of those things that was out there. Like I don't need it. Why do I need to go if I know I'm good? You know, and there was this
Mhm.
thing in me that felt like I didn't have to go and see a doctor. I married into a family though. My wife will go see a doctor, drop of a hat, and she was like, "Hey, we're not doing this without you seeing a physician because you ain't leaving me early," kind of thing. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
she
Yeah.
started to
Same.
get me
Same here.
to get in there and do. But what that forced me to then face was the mistrust of all of that kind of
Mhm.
stuff, like thinking about the establishment and things you learn. So what's we're talking about men in general, but if you then focus that on black men, black folks, we got stuff. But when I think about black men, the thing that always sticks out in my mind, what was it, the US, I can't remember the name of the organization, but was literally running experiments on black men at
Yeah.
Tuskegee,
Yeah.
infecting
Yeah.
us with syphilis and doing experiments with us for 40 years. That went from 1932 to 1972. 72 was the year I was born. Oh, so when you've got those things and that comes to light, of course that feeds into the thing where you don't trust. Like, why am I going to go there? Like you said, I could go there and I could come back with something. I may not
Mhm.
make it out of here. So again, there's so many different things that go into it. But like you said, Quest, like once you get on that other side of it and you start to
Mhm.
see what the benefits can be and you start to build that trust, there's no question that it improves the quality of your life.
Yeah.
But how
Yeah.
do you trust? Like that's the thing. How do you get yourself to the point of being able to trust? I was forced into it by a wife who was like, "You're going to the doctor." Had it
Mhm.
not been for her, I don't know that I would have ever made that a part of my regular habit.
Yeah.
Wow.
I
What? Whoa.
and that is intriguing. Why do you think that though?
I
Why
was gonna
why do
say
you feel that
why.
you
Yeah.
yeah, you wouldn't have made it part of your
Because I think a lot of it was just the messaging that I had received growing up. Like there was a
Mm-hmm.
sign of weakness. There's something wrong with you if you need to go see the doctor. Or
Yeah.
to put it another way, the only people that go see doctors are people who have something wrong with them. And so when you're
Mm-hmm.
trying to show that
Mm.
there's nothing wrong with you, like you're putting up a front, and I believed it because there was nothing was broken, nothing was hanging out the wrong way. Like I was good. And it's funny because I've got my right elbow. This is a sign of this. My sometime in my teen years, I remember I would like in the when it was nighttime and it was silent, I would do my heart. It's my shooting arm. And I would be doing my arm like that. And you could hear it just creaking. But I was like, I'm all right. I'm gonna get over this. It
Mhm.
started giving me hell a decade ago. And even when I was playing college ball and a little semi-pro, what I was doing, I would have
Mm-hmm.
to miss a little bit of time here and there because it would flare up real bad. And they had to do treatments on it. And I still didn't get it treated after that. So fast forward now, like a
Mm.
decade ago, in my mid 40s, it got to a point where I'm holding grocery bags in 5 minutes. It's starting to like really sing to me. I'm thinking this ain't
Wow.
good. I went in to see the doctor. They did an
Mm.
X-ray on it and said, "Well, I don't know if you understand this, but you actually broke your elbow. It looks like you did it 30, 40 years ago. You broke your elbow and never got
Wow.
it treated." I don't remember when it happened, but I know for damn sure I remember when I was banging it all the time and I never wanted to go see and get treatment for it. So I put myself in a position that I can't ever straighten it out all the way. And they told me there's
Wow.
nothing we can really do. You're going to develop arthritis in it and it's just going to get worse. I'm like, wow. So had I not had that same attitude toward medicine when I was a kid, there's no
Mhm.
doubt this would have gotten
Yeah.
diagnosed. Somebody would have realized I'd fractured or broken it, would have reset it. I would have been in a different position now. So I think that's part of the reason that we're here too. We're trying to tell that next generation coming up, don't be the dude walking around with a bum elbow for no reason.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think
Don't do that. Don't
to
do
your
that.
point, that was me too. So I had a horrible roller skating accident, which
Wow.
left my right ankle and fibula broken, right?
Mm,
Just
mm,
like this, pretty much like that, right? So at that point in time, I was switching jobs. Like the very next day, I was going to a new job. So I had already let go of the job that I had previous to that. So I had Cobra with them. Well, I had this injury in between jobs. The job that I was going to said, I think we're gonna go ahead and pass on you. So
mm.
now I have to incur the costs, you know what I'm saying, at that point in time.
Yeah.
And when I think about PT and stuff like that and how they wanted to give you a certain amount of dollars up front, and I just didn't have it. So
Mm,
fast forward, I got this ankle right now. It's, not a 90 degree that
mm,
normally would get with an ankle, but I have now this issue where it's about like, I get about like 60
mm,
degrees before my leg just starts coming up like this
mm, mm,
because I
mm.
can't actually, on my right leg, I can't actually put it all the way down and do a full squat.
Yeah.
And that's
Mm.
because arthritis tendonitis set in because I
Yeah.
didn't have the PT that I needed at that point in time. Why? Because I
Right.
didn't have the money that I needed to get that. I mean,
Yeah.
all of that played factor into that. And right now I'm working with a chiropractor to
Mm,
try to see if we can get more percentage of this back. So
wow.
I
Wow.
understand it. I understand it just like you understand it, Chris, like you understand it, Jay. And I really, really want,
Yeah.
just the people listening to us to know, like, if something is bothering you, it doesn't matter what it is,
Mm,
you got to go and get it checked.
mm,
And I'm not talking
Yeah.
about going to ChatGPT or going to
mm,
Google.
Yeah.
Oh, and this is what it is. No, because a lot of
That's gonna
times
make you feel
it
like you
gives
about
you a
to die.
myriad of, yeah, it gives you so many different things that it
You
possibly
about to
could be.
die.
And yeah, and you don't even know until you get checked. I mean, just go and get checked if you can. I know that there's a financial burden and the strength that comes with it, but
yeah.
you got to find those services. There are free services.
Yeah.
We could definitely look into making sure that people have numbers and stuff like that they can go and look for these services for. But the statistics around this stuff is alarming.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm,
Yeah.
mm,
Yeah.
Alarming.
mm,
Yeah. And I think it's important to also talk too about, the check engine light is not always just things that are physical to the point where you
Mhm.
can feel them or see them. Like sometimes things are happening inside of us that because we can't see them, doesn't mean that there's not something going on. Like
Right.
your check engine light might not all the way be on, but definitely some maintenance checkups are required. Like it's just,
Mhm,
I think it's
mhm.
important to like have a cadence, you know, especially when you start hitting your 40s of, getting colonoscopies every five
Yes,
years and,
yes,
the
yes.
things
Mhm.
that black men don't really like to do because you think everything is cool until you
Mm,
start getting into your 50s and you like, damn, why is blood coming out of my stool?
woo,
And
mm,
it's like, well, maybe that's a check engine light telling you to go get a colonoscopy and not just
mm,
ignore it. Or maybe there's some other things happening with your diet that are
mm,
impacting what's coming out of you. So I'm speaking from experience because I've been through that
wow,
Mhm.
with getting colonoscopies early in my 40s because
wow,
I was abusing my body with vodka.
wow, wow,
so
wow, wow.
so
Well,
yeah,
I want to ask you something then too, because you just jumped into something that we're all having to face when we hit this particular age, and that is the colonoscopy.
sure,
I've had one. You've obviously had one. Quest, have you had one?
Yep.
What did it feel like before you got it, if that makes any sense? Because again, I go back to the stigma of all of that. I
sure.
had no interest in wanting to get one because of what the procedure entailed and what I assumed that meant.
Mm,
I don't want that. I don't need that. I'm good. I don't want that. I finally got to the age you're like, come on, you need to do this. And it definitely wasn't as bad of an experience as I thought it was going to be. Actually, it was quite pleasant. I was out,
yeah.
woke up, everything was done, no pain, no
Yep.
nothing. But had there not been those handful of dudes in our Brothers United chat who had been
Mm,
through it already, because we were all getting them around the same time. And so, one guy would post a picture and they're like, hey, I did it. Come on, bros, let's get this done. And then
sure.
it was like dominoes. The rest of us started to go in and get it. Like, that's part of it too. Get yourself in a group of people who are
Yeah.
trying to make themselves as healthy as
Yes.
possible. I want to come
Yes.
back to
Yes.
your colonoscopy stories for sure, but do that because I know that there's inspiration in that we've been able to
Yeah.
draw from.
Yeah.
I will say this. I talked to a couple of black doctors, some who were very seasoned in their doctorship, if I can call that, and
Mm,
some that were, newer in their doctorship because some of them were older and some of them were younger. They were actually in Chicago at the same time that I was for Black Women's Festival, the Black Women's Expo.
mm,
They were at a doctor's convention. One of the questions that I asked them was about colonoscopy and,
mm,
around getting them and things of that nature. And one
mm,
of them said, it is unique. You should think about getting that first one, but after that first one, you should really think about how your body is responding afterwards. Is if
mm,
everything looks good in your stool and things are not in any way shocking to you, then you may not have to have another colonoscopy
Mm,
mm,
because it looks
mm,
like your system is good. And that stuck with me because, you know, I'm listening to the doctor that gave me the colonoscopy, and he's like, I'll see you in 5 years."
yeah,
right,
sure,
right, right.
sure.
and and I think what we fail to understand sometimes is the body and what happens and why
Mm,
why the ins and outs and why we are allowed to do certain things with our bodies that we do in other things, why certain things are supposed to go in and not,
mm,
and I feel like one of the things that he was trying to say there is you don't want those tools and everything like that just aimlessly in your digestive system,
mm,
searching and looking and cutting and prying and all of that all the time. If
Yeah.
you
mhm,
understand your gut and you always take a look at, your shit. Cause I mean, it tells the story.
Literally.
It literally, like for real tells the story. So,
huh,
It does.
I believe that. And when I had
mm,
like the whole situation with the colonoscopy was from me having a bout of salmonella. So I
Yeah.
had that bout of salmonella and my doctor said, we just gonna do everything. We're gonna do an
mm,
endoscopy and a colonoscopy. And I said, great.
Yeah.
They went in, they looked at everything, and hey, luckily, honestly, they didn't see anything.
Yeah.
You know, they understood that that was going on, but when they looked at everything else, hey, Mr. Dude, this thing looks great.
Mm.
Yeah.
So I go back to what I was saying about that black doctor, because that is what we were talking about as well.
Mm.
And when I listened to him saying to me, yes, have that colonoscopy and monitor yourself afterwards, you know, that hit, because
Mhm.
as a black man telling me this, right?
Mm.
In the midst of other black doctors, of other doctors,
Mm.
right? Because it
Yeah.
wasn't a black doctors convention. It just
Right.
so happened that these were black doctors. They had saw the Black Women's Expo on the other side, and they decided, oh, I'm gonna come over and see what's going on.
Mm.
So in that scenario, from
Oh.
that situation, I asked them, hey, here's my situation, or here's what happened. I want to know a little bit
Yeah.
more about this. They gave me that information.
I
Wow.
I think that is so important, man. I honestly, this is what I'm learning, and I don't know if it's all the way true yet, but I feel like getting comfortable with colonoscopy in your 40s is important. Like,
Yes. Yes.
it could be early 40s, but definitely like mid 40s, you should be like, okay, I'm gonna take
It's
this
time to get one.
plunge. It's
Yeah.
time to get one. I think as we start to transition and we get comfortable with those, knowing we got to get them, now we get into our 50s, that prostate conversation starts coming
Mm.
in, right?
Mm.
And
Mm.
start understanding what
Mm.
that means. You know, so I think the 40s is when you have to start getting comfortable with recognizing my body is changing and I'm no
Mm.
longer Superman, and I got to do what's required to make sure that I can endure this race of my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like it's impossible to think that you're going to be able to just continue doing the same things you once did and there not be any repercussions. My uncle always would tell me, be
Mm.
like, you're going to pay for whatever you put into your body.
Fact. And that's super fast.
Yeah.
And
That's
man, he
real.
would tell me, he always tells me that. And I'm just like, okay, man. And I remember like in my 30s, I'm like, whatever. And then like
Mm.
in my 40s, I'm like, dang, there might be some truth to that. Now in my 50s, I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
let me put these in the air fryer. Let me think about this piece. Let me put the
Right.
the blunt or or whatever down. You know what I mean? Whatever that I once
Yeah.
did, it's like that is no longer a recipe for me.
Wow.
Man, you know what? You know what's so funny about this? I know what the stigma is, and you do too. Two
What?
things I'm gonna tell you right now.
Yeah.
Brothers don't want you touching their butthole
Yeah.
or their
Yeah.
manhood. And
That's
when you
true.
talk about those two things
Those two
right there,
things,
yo, let me
I ain't
tell
going
you.
nowhere.
Yeah. That's real.
Colonoscopy? You gotta go through my butt? Hell
Yeah.
no.
Man.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
ain't doing that.
Yeah.
You ain't
Yeah.
going
Yeah.
up my butt? And what you
Yeah.
say, you gonna put me to sleep? Oh no,
Yeah.
you about to do everything. You about
Yeah.
you about to sit up here. When I get through, I'm gonna look at my butt. I'm not even gonna have
Yeah.
no butt no more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ah.
And then
Yeah.
That's
you
funny.
talking about prostate? You gotta touch what? Oh
Yeah.
no, you ain't touching that.
Yeah.
Man.
You know how we go?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's
think about
why.
just what you saying. Can't touch this, right?
Yeah.
Just what you saying it applies to not being able to even touch the conversation.
That's
Uh,
You know,
right.
CJ was talking about earlier, like, yeah, we were sharing it collectively in our brother chat group or whatever, but it was still a little uncomfortable for some of those
yeah.
people that went first to talk about it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it was joking and laughing and
Yeah.
keying and until the person that's laughing gotta go. And then it's
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, what you want to know now? You
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
know
yeah,
about
yeah.
Miralax now and how you gotta
Oh.
sit on the toilet all day and drink those 2 gallons of whatever?
Boy,
You want to talk
Oh
about it
my
boy,
God.
now?
That is
boy,
an
Right.
experience, by the way. That is an
Yeah.
experience. Woo. Hey, that thing
boy.
works fast too. It
And
works
what's funny,
fast.
and what's funny about that is I turned around and I was like, "Yep, that was an experience," but it cleaned everything out. I done lost about 7-8 pounds.
I'm about to I feel like I'm about to fly away.
I hope you had a great time with us here today on the 4050 Social Club. Click the like button below if something today caught your attention and you want to hear and see more. And follow us on our social media platforms that are below. Until we meet again, we hope that you found this healthy and helpful towards making these years the best years of your life.